Hello and welcome back to Transport Viva 2, the UK modded series. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video. Last time out I was working on some bus lines in a number of cities, and off camera, have I done any more? I do not think so. I do not believe I have had the time to add any more bus routes, but that is okay. Things are progressing nice and slowly. Who is waiting for what here? Right, that train is waiting for that train to come in and go around. This should work out all right. It has been running for a long time. If this is the first time a problem occurs at this station, well, kind of lucky that I am watching it on camera. Currently, I am at Stratford, or in Stratford, or above Stratford. Hovering somewhere above the outskirts of Stratford. As I said at the end of the last video, I'm going to be moving back onto the freight railways, and what better place to move back to the freight railways than Stratford, which is on the main line and needs a lot of work to be done. I have been planning this and thinking about this for a few weeks now, and I think I have some sort of an idea as to how I want this to work. So make sure you stay tuned. Let's get started. And after this, I believe that there are only 2 or 3. I'm just counting them in my head. Yes, I believe there are only 2 or 3 goods yards left to build, plus 1 marshalling yard. So, yes, let's get started. Let's get on with this, and this is going to work properly, right? I did set this up correctly. I must have, because the 2 trains are not complaining yet, and they're not going to be going head to head. I did. Excellent. Okay, let's get started, and perhaps be surprised that I can actually do some things properly. Okay, first thing that I need to do is clear this area out of its farm. We'll get back to some weird tree here. Is this tree going to go? It is. Okay, excellent. Sometimes they just do not work. So I'm going to remove this bit of the farmland, and that should be all right. I'm actually going to leave that tree in for now. Then what I need to do is try and work out the length of the freight, the goods yard. So I had this previously in this location, but of course I've deleted it to show it's being built properly. Now the third thing I could do is actually push it much closer to this road, which would enable it to perhaps work a little better, but I think I might be able to get away. Actually, having it about there might be the best option. And given that Stratford might end up... So I need to consider the fact that I might expand this station to include 2 extra tracks as pass-throughs. So the idea of having it... The idea of actually having it up here is quite interesting. If only that were a bridge, not a tunnel. But still, the idea of having it up here is quite interesting. Let me see if I can get it to have 3 tracks and how it would sit up here, because it would be interesting to see. So you're going into a tunnel and there is a train just sitting above you. But it would be fairly realistic too. And it still gives me just about if I'm careful with this. Ooh, why does that wish to go down like that? No, no, no. Up we go. There we are. It still gives me the opportunity to expand that station without much hassle. And the other thing I'm thinking of is in bringing it... Oh, I cannot bring it that close though. This might be as close as I can bring it. Let me see. Okay, let me try that. And I'm just going to have a look at... Yes, there's definitely enough room to expand the station to include two pass-through tracks should I need to activate the centre platforms. So that is not a problem. And I think that would look pretty nice to have. I could probably put a wall along that. But that would look pretty nice, I think, overall. I would like this to be a touch higher up. Okay, so I would like this to be a touch higher up, so I'm just going to use the Move It tool and just to hope that this figures it out. There we go. Not you. No, hold on. Go away, go away. Move it. Just you. That is it. Just one up, please. Ignore the validation. Up we go. Better. That is much better. Put a wall along here too. Also, what this does is it gives me the opportunity to, should I wish to do so, connect back up onto these lines, staying clear of the station in and of itself. Next, what I need to do is figure out if I can build any amount of track that would... So let's go from the centre and say, what sort of track would I need to build? Where does it need to peel in from? Which is probably from here. And how would it look? That is fairly sweeping, but it is not the worst thing I have seen, because it gives the opportunity to come back onto this track fairly easily by slipping that switch. Now, to test the speeds here, I'm going to increase. So let's say I want this to be 30 miles per hour. I'm going to attempt to make an increase here, which it is happy with 30. And I would actually have 30 all the way up to the yard itself. No, I'd have 30 up to there. The train will need to brake. So my concern is I'm trying to get the freight train out of the way as quickly as possible before it needs to brake. So let me attempt the 10 here and see how tight I can make that. Fairly tight. There we are. That seems reasonable enough. And then I can even build another one just like this, which I'm going to use for a couple of spares. So therefore it can be 30. Oh well, that was it. That was literally where I had 30 up to. Could I do 40? No. I mean, that being said, it isn't going to accelerate to 40 in that time, is it? So I can do 40 all the way in, obviously 34 coming back on this, and then it brakes to 10, keeping it out of the way. The important bit, the most important bit is getting it out of the way of this bit. Okay. I think I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that and say that I'm okay with how that has panned out. I shall now add just a couple of 10-mile-per-hour track bits, just to give it an illusion of this being a slightly bigger yard than some of the others, given the size that I'm hoping that this town grows to. We can then... So how am I going to do this? I think I can flatten the ground just up here. To that height. Possibly... Okay. I have a really good idea, but I haven't got a clue how I'm going to pull it off. I'm going to try anyway. We're going to remove that. I'm going to try and put a wall up. Why does it do that? Why does it not respond properly to what I want? Not these. I want some sort of retaining wall. Not that either. 100 meter retaining. These are excellent. Why do I not have these in places? And the 100 meter retaining wall would look... Stop it. That would look perfect along here if I pull it off correctly, but no. No. That is not the retaining wall I'm after. Here are some of those retaining walls. No. Okay, I'm not able to find the wall I want. So, because I'm not able to do that, I am going to use this wall, which is a shame. So, the plan here, and I have no idea how I'm going to pull this off, I will be completely honest, but the plan here is to do... So it needs to be in 10 meter increments. And I need this to be... How do I need this placed? Out here? I could place this out here if I wanted to. In fact, I think I should. I have an idea with this as well. If this does not look right in the end, I'll have to get rid of it. But I would like it so that... Right, how am I going to do this? Think, brain, think. Terrain tools, flatten. First off, give me the right height to put this wall up. So this entire area is now at wall height. So I can easily check whether or not this wall is going to be at the right height for what I'm trying to do. So if this is the correct height, it is. Good. I'm going to place it right. In fact, can I somehow... This is going to look a little odd. This is going to look very odd. How does that... If I put that on both sides, will it look really, really out of place? I'm not sure it will, actually. Okay. So, very carefully, I'm going to place a few of these, and I do have to be incredibly careful. So we'll do 1, 2, 3. I'm then going to turn it around, and do not mind how it looks at present. It should not cause an issue. As long as I build this correctly. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Okay. So, next up, I go to the terrain tools and we'll do a flatten. And be very careful with how we're doing this. So we bring this up. Oh, it hasn't. We haven't done this correctly, have we? Nope, I have not. It's slightly... That's a faff. It's just ever so slightly too... Unless I had the heights wrong. No, I did get it right. Okay, good. I just had the heights wrong. I was picking the wrong height. Now, somehow, I've got to make this work. No. This height. Come on. I will get this working. I just have to figure out how. I can always drop that just a very, very tiny amount. Okay. Good. Now, this bit. Rotate the... Okay, don't rotate the brush. Oh, this isn't going to be perfect, but I'm going to try my level best here. Okay. Limitations, we're working on them. Next up, I'm going to configure this to ensure that we can do that. Then I'm going to place... let's go ahead and place... configurable freight station. Which one do I normally use? This one. I'll go ahead and place this one about where? I want to place it there. That isn't going to work. But I can make it work if I just drop it back a touch. Okay. Think. This is very silly what I'm doing, but it might work. It's so silly it might just work. We're getting somewhere. Let's configure this to be what it needs to be. That. Drop that. Get rid of that. Oh, does it like... It isn't liking any of that. Great. I have to build the blasted thing first. Let's figure this out then. So, not that. Terrain tools, flatten a significant portion. There we are. That has all been flattened. Good. Now place this in. And as I said, I want narrow 2. Shorter street connection, higher car capacity, no border, no ground, will sort out the ground manually. And as a matter of fact, it's sort of just working. Well, that's annoying because that has just suddenly done exactly what I wanted to do. Great. In it goes. Now it's tucked in reasonably well. It's a little... Here we have... I mean, that is sort of what I was trying to get to happen here. Maybe not quite with the tree, but that is sort of what I was hoping for. So it has partly worked. Yes, it has partly worked. I'm going to constructions. What? How do I select? How do I select things? Oh, that. No, not you. Segments, no. Nodes, no. Okay. I have no idea how I am to select these ones. I'm going to try and do this. If it doesn't turn out the way I want it to immediately, I'll figure something else out. Yes, I will figure something else out. One way that I've already figured out what I'm going to do is by pushing this back just a touch, because it hides, there we go, it sort of hides these bits. So that is working. Good. Then what I need to do is probably break these two, and I need to place a road right here. Let's go ahead and place not an invisible road, one of those roads. Well, not quite like that, but that will probably do, right? And now you can probably see what I'm attempting to... what I'm actually attempting to try to make happen. That hasn't quite worked. You go there. You go there. You disappear. And then potentially... how do I do this? You to you to you to you to me. Oh, turn around, please. Oh, and it turned around, went, there we go. Ramp equalize, stop checking anything, just do it. There we go. Just... Well, that hasn't really smoothed it out at all, has it? Try again. Maybe that is what it thinks is smooth. Fine. You need to go. I know what you want, but you need to go. So now we have this connected to that. That is good. I can probably do the whole flattening of this entire area. And I shall bring the railway tracks, not like that, bring the railway tracks up to about there. Build some stuff on the side, I guess. Over here, I can probably look to... That is unnecessary. Railway buildings, that is what I want here. This is... It isn't working quite the way I wanted it to, but it is doing something. So it isn't the worst. It certainly isn't the best. But it is not the worst. Right, where are the buildings? Here they are. I'm starting to learn where all these buildings are kept. Actually, that's pretty much what I was after. Is that right up against the railway, though? Oh, that's a little bit too close to the railway. Do I have anything smaller? I do. I could place some of these in. Right, so all I need to do is... Can I place this track side +1? Perfect. Or track side. Hang on. Or track side. Yep, that works. That one is a little far. Although I could potentially do something with this if... I could potentially do something. I'm just looking for various different options. That is also a little too close. Something narrow. Like that. Yes, let's put you in. That is no good. And is this one any good? I think I did say this one was fairly decent. But I'm not keen on it. That is no good. If that was sideways, that would be perfect. I suppose these ones are, but they're a little... Okay, keep thinking. I'll figure something out. That doesn't look terrible. What's better, just thought about this, is hopefully that doesn't... Oh, it sticks underground. Well, that is somewhat unfortunate. So I thought this was all going to look spectacularly good. Okay. Can I perhaps lift it? I really dislike the way this... How much do I need to lift it? It's a significant amount. And that looks like a foundation for it, so that's no good. Okay, that's fine. I can always do something... Look, on this side, I could place one of these. Right. Yes, you go away. I'm placing this up here instead. And I think that is going to look... It just gives it a little bit of detail at the top, which just... I think it just looks that little bit better. Now, regarding the walls, I need to figure something out here. I guess I could just place... Can I just place this wall everywhere? Would it just be better for me to place a wall? I wanted to have... Obviously, with these, we've got the embankments and whatnot. I did not want the embankments. Hang on. Said I did not want the embankments. There is a way to get rid of those. Where is it? Narrow. Yes, there is a way to get rid of those. I'm going to do it. There. Here it is. Flat. Let's see what this does. I have no idea if this is going to work the way I am hoping, but I'm going to try. Oh no, I cannot delete these. Wait, why can I not delete these? Right. Bulldoze the roads. That was a moment of trouble. So if I cannot delete those, what can I put here instead? What about just a hedge? After all, hedges are useful. Could do that. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. Build up there. Now build up into this corner. And now build from this corner out to, say, here. It is a little better. And I suppose I could... No, not the whole thing. Right. Try again. That is no good. Up to there. Better delete that. All the way to flat. Not down, flat. That appears to clear that bit, and then all the way along here. The effort it takes to do some of these things. There we go. I think that might just do it. Okay, good. Back to the wall. Wall. Wall, please. Wall. How much is the 50-meter one? $50 meters will do nicely. So tuck that right down. Come on. There we are. Ever so slightly up. And place. Place. Why did that not place? Oh, because it's on... Right. Never mind me. I'm working on it. It's just taking me a moment. 3. There. There we go. Good. And then I shall like to place some 10-meter ones. About the same height, please. That appears to be roughly the same height. Would that be the end of the... Actually, that would work because I can then smooth it from there. Okay, good. Finally, I have something that looks somewhat like what I was trying to do. This has only taken some amount of time. Ballast, please. Let's get this painted so we've got an idea of what is going on. So all of that can be painted in ballast. In fact, at this point I think we should paint... Oops, I've gone a little bit over, but that's okay. This entire section should probably be painted in ballast. I'll clean up the mess afterwards. There we are. And this bit where you can probably guess what I am planning to put right here. Terrain tools. Why are you not... Why are you happy here but not here? Come on, flatten up. I'll sort out the smoothing of that in a while. So you can probably guess what I am placing right here. And yes, it is going to be the fuel refinery. That is not what I was going to do. Gasworks. There it is. And the way I'm going to do it is actually just have it across the road like so, because I'm going to put some buildings just there. So Gasworks will slot in quite nicely about, I'll say about there, shall we place it? Yes. Delete that, putting in a proper road. One of these. Perfect. That goes in there. We'll work out the downhill slope. Actually, could I have that running? No, we'll put the downhill slope in. Up to about there. That... Does that work reasonably? No. No. There is something I need to do before that downhill slope, and that is going to be... Why is this like this? I do not understand. There. Somehow smoothing this just fixes those issues. No idea why. Absolutely no idea what is going on that's causing this. But fine. Okay, gasometer. There we are. Orange one, as I've been placing in many places. Tucked in about... It's about there. Oh. No, that's a bad place for it. Try again. Pay attention, will you? Not down, round. There we go. Tucks in about there. Better. Okay. So now we have a gasometer, we have the railway, we have the freight station. And what I'm going to do is have this flat like that and then go down like so. So we have this bit as well, which kind of needs to smooth itself out. There we are. And I did say I wanted to smooth this bit out too. Perfect. That is looking pretty reasonable. Good. Water tower. Let's see if I can fit a water tower into this. Hopefully I've got this right. I have. Surprise. But there we go. Let's fit a water tower in here. Let's fit some cranes along this side just to give it a bit of a, I don't know, a bit more, I say realism, but I'm not entirely certain this is realism. So, yes. So some cranes and a general railway building can sit. Could I sit the railway building here? If I did, would that cause problems underneath? No. Okay. In that case, this railway building is what I'm placing right here. Let's get this correct. Brick, red, no, red mixed. Sure. Slightly larger. It can sit there. Gable end. Could we do flats? What flat? Ooh. Very rarely do I have a flat one, but I do not particularly like that. I'll place this on it. It isn't the best, but there we go. It does kind of work. Even better because I've got the right colour bricks. There, we now have a general railway building also up there right at the start, so you've got the tunnel that goes through and you have buildings on top of it. Good. That is looking reasonable to me. This gasometer, yep, that feeds directly into there, which is what I wanted. This bit needs to be painted. So this is all still railway yard, as it were. Let me go ahead and put another one of those buildings up. Let's put one just here. And now let me see what other sorts of buildings I can place. Oh, these buildings all actually somehow go. But which one is the one I want? This one could just about work. Because I could tuck it into this and have it sort of merge like that. And then, how many of these? Unfortunately, these I cannot have. They would have been nice to have up here. They would have been really nice to have. But I could place them somewhere else. Like, for example, on this side. Just to give it... just gives it some sort of a... yeah, that gives it some sort of realism, I guess. Yes, it actually does. Okay, good. So I figured that out. Let's go ahead and place some of these. They're a little close. Trackside. Perfect. I think that is starting to look pretty realistic, and I know I'm coming up towards the end of the time. Let me see. Rotate 90 degrees. Any of these? Is it happy with any of this? No. One track cover. There we go. That is even better. I have built a railway yard. Excellent. How does that look from down here? Quite realistic. Anything else I can place? No, I'm just... So you have to be very careful because there are points at which things can become overkill. And I'm getting very, very close to that point in time. So I do have to be incredibly, incredibly careful here. What do we have? One of these? No, I want the little... There they are. I'm going to park... I'm just going to park this one here. Because I'm going to put a bunch of wagons on this. Just some simple... As if it is something to be moved at a later time. Not a gunpowder wagon, that is not necessary at this point in time. Probably want that. I have no idea which one of these I want. Full random, sure. Yeah, it gives it a bit of a... That one's touching, isn't it? Almost had it. It's fine. There we go. Now that looks more like a freight yard. That does look much more like a freight yard. It isn't quite complete yet, but it is done enough that it will be able to handle that side. Now, to finish today's episode, of course, I need to get freight going in that direction. And I thought about this, and I decided the easiest and most simplest of ways to use this little spur right here. So, I shall have a 10 mile per hour track, literally from here. And obviously, this is not going to be the largest of trains that go up there. Now, I cannot connect it to that spur, but what I can do is I can have it do this. I'm going to have to figure out how to get it to cross over. That is also something I need to figure out. Actually, let me try and work out that crossover first. There's the crossover. Right, that is the crossover I need. Good. Like so. And then, literally, oops, from up here, please do not break. Why are you being so... It's something to do with the bridge. From up here, it connects directly to here. As best as it can. Autosave, kicking in at exactly the wrong moment in time. And that should enable me to, and I'll show you what I'm going to do in the end, because obviously this is not going to work. But if I've planned this correctly, and there is absolutely no reason to think that I have, there is only going to be one goods train running off to wherever it is going. Right. If I have planned this correctly, from there, we now place a building very carefully with one track, with no terminal function, with 150 meters. Starts off in this direction. So being very careful here. Good. Bends in that direction. So hopefully you can already see what I'm attempting to do. As smooth as it goes. In fact, I haven't quite got this right, have I? Well, rubbish. I thought I was doing a good job here. Clearly not. Rubbish. Okay, I'll figure it out. Let's maybe place this in first. That has been placed. How close was I? Oh, it wasn't even that far off. It really was not. I know this is a bit of an uphill trek. I'm going to try to figure that out. I know there is a way to do this. I'm not entirely certain what it is. Here we go. This is something. That is going quite a distance. I'll figure it out. I will figure it out. There's something. Okay. That is all I need to do. Good. So just attempt to get this right. And also, I can tighten this. Oh no. There it is. Oh, it's because I was using the wrong one. So I increase that, do that down, and then tighten the curve. It is kind of difficult. It is difficult to pull off, but I'm getting there. Step by step. Let's try that. Shall we say that's it isn't bad. It isn't perfect, but it isn't bad. I might have to keep that for now. And then connect that there, and connect that there. There we go. So now what will happen is that from the marshalling yard, any freight goods train that needs to go to Chagford comes in from the marshalling yard, which will be perhaps about here, comes in, pulls into here, turns around, and then goes there, comes back, turns around again, and then heads out in that direction. That is the plan. But for now, lifting some of this up to smooth it all out, finally. And cleaning some of this up. Probably fill this bit up too. Yep, that looks reasonable. Smooth all the way down. Okay, that does not look too bad whatsoever. In fact, from that angle, you've probably got the best... Is that the best look at it, probably. So that is where I am going to end today's video. Not too bad overall. I think it has worked. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more videos on Transport Fever 2, the UK modded series. Leave a comment in the comments box below, letting me know what you think, any suggestions you might have. What should I do in this open area, this open space that you see in front of me? If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. Link in the description box below, as are links to my social media and Discord server. That is all from me. And I shall see you next time in Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series, where in the next video I will probably clean some of this up, and then I need to go around getting some of the goods trains up and running, because some of them are not. Then I need to make the marshalling yard, then I need to make Barnstable's freight or goods station, goods yard. I need to fix Maryport's goods yard, and I need to do something in Shepton Mallet. And after that, the railways, apart from bringing in new industries, of which I have a couple of things that I need to do, the railways in the towns themselves are pretty much done. And that is a really, really big milestone. So make sure you stay tuned for all of that in the coming episodes. Thank you very much once again, and I shall see you then.